Howdy there, this is TJ coming at you from GoFigureNews.com. I will be your host as we celebrate or continue to celebrate the season today with giant microbes. You can visit them online at giantmicrobes.com to check in with all the deets of what special treats they have in store. Now, they are a plush company. Oh, we're talking super plush here. Yes, indeed, ED. They have a whole range of different figures going all from the keychain to mini size, which you're going to see today, which are 2 to 4 inches. They have their regular size, which is one step up from that. They have their large scale size and then their gigantic size, which go up to 24 inches. So they have 4 different ranges, and including the keychains, which are basically the same size as these that we're going to show you today. Now, they come sold individually, but here you're going to see the kits that they have available. They have several of these. So, if you haven't guessed, they really do stick to the name. Giant microbes are, in fact, exactly what it says. They are microorganisms that are multiplied and magnified to the nth degree. Yes, in fact, they are 1,000,000 times the size. So most of these things that they make are actually invisible to the naked eye. So they want to educate and kind of mesh a little bit of science and learning with toy figures in some way. And I just find these completely strange and ironic, and I wanted to share them because that's what you do during the season. You share a cup of hot cocoa and some giant microbes. These are made of polyester and with a fiber fill on the inside. They are washable, and when you get them, I've taken them off the backboard. They all are facing out and they all have eyes. Now, of course, the microbes themselves do not have eyes. That's the one thing that differentiates the real microorganisms from the ones that you'll see here, which are plush and kind of adorable for things that aren't quite adorable. So, in each kit, there are 5 different microorganisms. Now here we have a whole bunch of different looking things. We have this snake / poo looking thing. We have this pea pod sort of green hot doggy looking thing. We have this circular, almost kind of walnut before it's cracked, white little plush. And we have this squid looking black thing. And here we have this other kind of almost like sea anemone creature of sorts. Let's see what they really are now, though. Now remember, these are biohazards. I'm going to show you. You can take a look at the back of the box. Basically, the back of the box gives you all sorts of information about the actual object and what it is, what it's about, how it affects you, the world at large. This here is TB. So whether you've had it or not, this is TB staring you right in the face. Of course, again, it's 1,000,000 times the size. It's basically just almost a log-shaped object, pea-pod-esque. And what I want to point out is that they actually do spend some attention to detail. First of all, these are sewn really nicely, very clean. Of course, if you own these, you're going to want to keep the tag on them because they actually give you the information right here so that you can, unless you have a great memory and you can remember what these are, and it tells you right on the tag that it's tuberculosis, which is TB. They have different colors of eyes. They have a black pupil, and then around the edge, they have, like this one is red and this one is green, so they kind of match the figure to some degree. This lovely little object here is anthrax. So I'm sure that if you watch the evening news over the last 10-15 years, you've probably seen particulars about anthrax. It's quite deadly. TB, you can get a shot for. Anthrax, I don't think there's a shot for that. It's quite fatal if you come in contact with it. This is perfectly fine. I can rub it on my face, and look, I didn't shrink away into nothingness. My face didn't fall off. So here is anthrax. It's got a little ridge around the edge on 3 sides. So that's why I said it looks a little bit like walnut. Here, what is this here? This is really peculiar. Oh, it's a brain-eating amoeba. It's got cute little tassels here. Let's see, it's got 4 strands. And then it's got a little bit of a face with some sewn lines here. This one is much more intricate than these two. So I like these sets because you're not just getting just little blobs. You're getting things that have a little bit of artistic quality to them. I kind of like this soft little plush base here, which it makes it allowable to stand. And moving right to toxic mold. Now, toxic mold is quite cute. It has a little bit of a squid, a little bit of a spider effect, and when you push down in it, the legs of it kind of move around. Toxic mold is black, and around the edges of the eyes, it's blue, makes it pop. And then lastly, for this grouping, you have everyone's favorite, Ebola. Okay, Ebola, of course, is the cause of widespread death in certain countries. And we have had outbreaks of it. In fact, right here in Dallas, we had an Ebola scare. I think it was maybe 2 years ago. It was contained by the CDC. The more you know. So this one does not have the googly eyes like the other ones. This just has kind of sewn on eyes, which is nice. And it's got a little bit of a spiral. So, you know, if you want, you can have a finger puppet play with Ebola, and you could teach your kids or what have you. Or just put these on your shelf because these are quite funny and quite horrible at the same time. On the box it says, for anyone with a healthy sense of humor. So, see, I do have a healthy sense of humor. We have sick day. Now, sick day is kind of cool because it's more common sort of organisms rather than the last one, which was the big star stealer in terms of germs. And different kinds of things that go bump in the night. A whole bunch. These are all different colors, as you can see, which makes them quite playful and attractive. The first is this little white one. Now, this is a cavity. Now, I'm not exactly sure how this represents a cavity. It's kind of tooth-shaped to some degree because it has an indentation in the middle, but it's just white. So, cheers to them for making something that looks tooth-esque. Next, we have an earache. Now, any little kid or adult who's gone through it will be able to tell you how horrible an earache. It's probably one of the worst pains for a young person, and even adults who have really bad earaches. I haven't had one since I was a kid, but this is what an earache appears like. I like this sort of fleshy-ish, peachy color that they put on it, but it's just a flesh wound. Now, around the eyes, it has kind of an orangey color. Matches really nicely. This has just solid black eyes, and it is a little blue, almost pillow, in a kind of a teal. And right here, you have the common cold. So, look right there. That's what you want to avoid this season, the common cold. Sore throat. Sore throat is depicted as a big red, kind of maroon-ish color with matching eye sets. And here we go. And that's almost similar to this one, although it's a little bit larger. So if you're going to have a sore throat, that's sort of, the color looks like what it feels like. And lastly, we have this cute little, almost misshapen shape, looks a little bit like a bean in kind of a beigey color. This is just a cough. This is representing cough here. These are all the common ones that you want to definitely stay clear of this winter time. That's sick day. And what I want you to do is visit Giant Microbes website, giantmicrobes.com. And on the site, they go over each one of these in great detail. How they affect you, what they do in the system. They talk about the destructive nature of some of these microbes. Here, lastly but not leastly, is tainted love. Now, we want to avoid this one at all costs, ladies and gentlemen. Girls and boys. Now, this would be a great teaching moment for a lot of parents out there. I doubt that there's any sex education left in our world. But in the case that there is, I think that this might be something quite interesting for, to pass along. But don't pass this on, if you know what I mean. With some real showstoppers, starting with chlamydia. Now, chlamydia is probably, of these five, probably the cutest one, but it's not cute at all. It is not cute. And as you can see, there's these little fabric, felty type spikes coming out of the top. It's got a little mouth, actually. That's kind of scary in a way. It's adorably scary. How do you like that? It's in this beautiful emerald color. Giant Microbes are by Drew Oliver, who's the designer. And next we have HPV, the HPV virus. It's got two eyes there. The eyes have a clear background so you can see the gray. And it's got these sewn little sections of circles all the way around. It's almost a little bit like some kind of a weird squash. Then you have this lovely piece right here, which looks like a little pink snake in a little bit of a swirl. It's got little black sewn-on eyes. And this is pox, syphilis, right here. That's syphilis, ladies and gentlemen. And syphilis is no cotton candy. I can't guarantee because I have never experienced these things, but I can definitely tell you that you want to watch out for this little guy. But here, you can put your finger right through him like a donut. Lastly, we have these two lovelies, and I'm going to start with this. This is the clap, or otherwise known as gonorrhea. I should say gonorrhea is probably more the medical technical term. He's got little blue eyes around the edges, and it just basically looks like a little gray peanut. The back is just gray. He's nice and plush. And we have herpes in the house, y'all. That's herpes. It's got this almost sun extension. The kind of like a cartoon rays of the sun matched with a squid. They also sent me a regular size herpes. So you can see the difference between the small version and the regular size version. This is the mini and this is the original. So I like them. They're like little partners in crime. The original one here, the way it differs here is around the edge, it's sewn. So you have like a little extra layer. You can probably see it better from the back here. See where it cuts off from the edges here. And there's a little bit more flap on this one. These edges, which I will just refer to as flap. The inner color is like more yellowy than this one. This is more beige. This is the herpes simplex virus 2, or the HSV2. Now I'll read to you the lovely notes. It's one of the great granddaddies of sexually transmitted diseases. The word herpes, Greek for creep, was usually used by Hippocrates himself 2,500 years ago to describe lesions that appeared to creep on the skin as they spread. And if that sounds confusing, it is particularly for those who carry the heavy social stigma of having their herpes in the wrong place. So keep your herpes to yourself, but I'm keeping this herpes, let me tell you right now. This will remind me every day to watch my parts. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Happy Winter Solstice. Bring it on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Remember to subscribe. Let's bring them all out one more time, shall we? Voila! So here are all our friends in the world of scary sickness. May you all be safe and warm this season. TJ for Go Figure News, over and out.